Okay, so being the largest female-owned brokerage in Utah, like, what does that mean to you beyond the numbers?
You know, it's funny because I put my head down and worked for so many years and never looked at the numbers, never looked at the ranks, never looked at where we were at. And then one day I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw one of the independent brokerages had put out all these numbers. And I saw that I was on the list. And I didn't even know. But I didn't really care either. It wasn't an ego thing for me for a lot of years. And then it became one of those things. It's like, well, why not step into that? Why not own what I've done? And so, there's that fine balance of being, it's all an ego thing. And also just being successful to give success to other people. And that's where I was at. And it kind of made sense for me to then start to showcase that. Hey, by the way, we're in the top 10 in the in the state of Utah where there's 3,500 brokerages. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know it. And so it really was just kind of waking up to that can play into my benefit. It can do some good things for me. And it's opened doors that I never expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to break that up a little bit for everybody that's listening, because I think a lot of times we do, especially as women, wrestle with, hey, I've done this awesome thing and I want this awesome thing to empower you, not belittle
Totally.
you, right? And so it's like, okay, how do I own this and have it be an act of service instead of an act of like, look what I've done?
Well, and I think the girl boss era has been demonized because women really love to go out and be like, I did this, I did that, which is so great. We want that for everyone. But the problem is not all women are doing it for that reason. They're not all going, hey, I succeeded here, I did that. They really, truly might just have a really good drive, might have a good business model, might have good direction to bring something to market that wasn't ever there. And so it's okay to own that and be like, oh, yeah, I did that. Doesn't have to be, I'm a girl boss.
No.
Yeah.
And it be like, I did that. And so now let me help you.
Totally.
Because if you get to the top of the mountain and nobody else gets to the mountain easier, I think you failed.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, no, agreed. Okay, so how do you define leadership and how has your definition evolved over time?
Yeah, one of the things that I've learned through the years is that leadership is hard. It's not easy. It comes with a lot of challenges, a lot of growth that you don't expect, a lot of introspective on who you are and what you stand for and what you believe in and why you're doing this. I mean, there are so many days as a leader that you wake up and you go, why? Why am I doing this? But then you look back and you see all the lives you've changed and you realize why, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I really think that being a leader is learning how to control your emotions, learning how to handle situations in a way that you're naturally not like wired to handle it. As a female, as a woman, my first reaction when my husband does something dumb is to be like, what are you thinking? Well, you can't do that in the boardroom, right?
Right.
You have to hold that back and go, okay, let me think about this. And I had an employee once that I hired, and I hired a consultant to come in and tell us what we should be doing with the company. And he stood there and he made some massive changes, and she was just almost in tears sitting over in the corner. And I was trying to help her get from where she was at to an executive level. And as we left, I sat quiet the entire time. And as we left the room, she came into my office and was like, she said to me, a real leader would have stood there and said, you're wrong, you shouldn't be doing this. And that's when I had this moment of, that's why I'm the leader, because I didn't react, because I had to sit there and process and figure out what was going on. And now I'll have a reaction to it and not think first from emotions, but think from a leadership perspective.
Yeah. That's space to respond instead of react. And it's a constant balance because you have the trigger of like, but you're like,
Totally.
not yet. I need to come at this from a different angle.
And think about it, right? And allow the emotions, like you said about your experience, allow the emotions to kind of die down so that you can think it through clearly.
Yeah. And leadership is like you have to think of the whole group, not just the one person.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think that was one of my big things in leadership when I was running this company. I hate conflict. I think a lot of us hate conflict.
Yeah.
I think it's natural to hate conflict. And I had to make the decision to let this person go. And it was hard because I liked them as a person, but in the organization, they just didn't elevate everybody. In fact, did the opposite. And so I had to have that conversation. And once I did, like I earned so much respect from my team, and it changed the game. And it was probably one of the hardest things I did, but then also one of the most rewarding.